everyone, and welcome back to the Knitting Forecast. So last weekend, well, just a couple of days ago actually, I went to the Cumbrian Sheep and Wool Gathering, and didn't I have a lovely time? So I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be a really long video. I'm just going to tell you a bit about it and show what I bought. First things first, I like to get the nitty-gritties done. The venue itself was really good. Parking good. They had what you call the parking attendants, so they showed you exactly where to park. There was quite a few disability parking spaces, and yeah, everything was completely flat. So accessibility, I would give it a pretty good mark. Good toilets. There were at least two places to eat in the place. Me, I'm always early for everything I've ever been to in my life. I'm that person who's early. So there was a cafe to go and sit in till it was time to go in, which I appreciated, because either that or I'm just stood there for 20 odd minutes. So yeah, cafe before you go in, and a cafe actually within the show itself. And I think there was a coffee stand too, actually, like a little van opened up as a coffee stand. So honestly, plenty to eat and drink. The only accessibility issue I would have to say, and I'm like mega aware of this kind of thing because my son has extra needs that include this kind of thing is the main room itself was great, very flat floor, very flat floor. But then the extra room, which did have a lot more stalls in, but it was also where the sheep were kept and things. There's a lot of, I assume they're like little trenches, little troughs. No, what's the word? Just little bits where you could trip over if you're not careful, and nearly, half the stalls you did have them running through. Yeah. Apart from that, though, the venue was great. I thought it was perfect. Had a lovely time. It was very woolly, and I was saying this to people when I got back, and they were like, "Duh, it's a wool show." Of course, it's woolly, but what I mean by woolly is lots of like natural fleeces, straight off the sheep kinds of fleece for sale, and lots of is it called? When you get the fleece in like the braids and just bags of fleece. There were quite a lot of stores like that, which I fully appreciate. And to be honest, I was quite shocked all that stuff didn't cost more. So I think people were getting bargains. It's just not my thing at the moment, and I don't want it to be because I've got no space. I've got no physical space for it in my life. But there's a lot of that, and if like me, it's not you're not a spinner. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're into spinning, this would have been a great show for you. And doing the complete from beginning to end process of making a yarn, a ball of wool, straight off the sheep. They then had all the batting and combing, and then the on the wheels, and then the dye. They had all that going on. So if that's your thing, you should definitely go next year. However, my kind of thing is the finished product of the yarn. So I'll show you what I bought. Very exciting things. Yeah, plenty of places to eat. Oh, another great thing they did, they had plenty of seating around the place where, you could sit in a group and have a little rest. Honestly, more than enough seating. Though I went quite early on in the day and it did start to get busy. My cats are going wild. Whatever. Okay. Yes, lots of extra seating, like rows and rows of places to sit, plus the cafes. So, um, if you were going with friends, you could just sit down and have a nice chat, which was nice. They had animals, and the sheep were just so damn cute. They had a baby sheep, which apparently was only a couple of weeks old. He or she didn't want to be petted, kept quite a distance, understandable. But the other two bigger sheep, they were loving it. They were coming over, sticking their head through for a little stroke. The kids there just had the best time. You could see happy faces. What I didn't really like though, and it's everyone's got their personal opinions on keeping animals in cages. I was quite satisfied with the amount of space that the sheep had because they could move around, they could get away from people. But they did have Angora, I nearly said cats. They did have Angora rabbits in quite small, like hamster-sized cages, and it did clearly state that they don't live in these cages and it is just for the show. But the show is long, man. I felt not it wasn't going to be a pleasant day for those poor things. But yeah, everyone's got their own opinion on that, and that's just mine. Clear signs. I appreciated that it was, you do not touch these rabbits. They're just for looking at. Don't stick your fingers in. That kind of thing. So I'm sure they were getting fed and all. I just thought, oh, what a day for them. They didn't look happy like the sheep. But anyway, what else have I got to say? I think we're onto what was actually purchased now. So first things first, I went in with a plan. I've mentioned before a few episodes ago that I want to make like a crochet tank top, granny squares going on, tank top shape. And I'm really feeling green for that. So green and blues, teals. So I went in with that in mind, in like a sock yarn fingering weight style. However, my first purchase had nothing to do with that, so here's the first purchase. What do you think of this? Isn't it gorgeous? Look at the colours. So I have never come across this dyer before. Wild Field Fibre. I had a lovely chat with Claire, the stall holder, and I spotted this before I'd even got to the stall. It's a peacock shade. It's ethical merino in DK, 225 meters. Love it. I'm in love with these colours. And I quite like the zebra style. I've knitted some socks using wool with that in before, and yeah, I wear them all the time. So, yeah, absolutely in love, and I'm so glad I found this. I followed them on Instagram now, but she was great. Had a lovely chat, and this was my first purchase. I fully intended on doing full round and then go back to my favourite bits, but I couldn't leave it behind because you just don't know what's going to be there. So I've had to get it. I think I'm going to knit some winter mittens with it. Oh, another good thing about Claire, who was there, she didn't bat an eyelid at me smelling the wool. In fact, she said it wasn't the weirdest thing she'd seen that day. So I was pleased with that. I do love a woolly smell. So anyway, it's all ethical, gorgeous colours. It's a bit of me. So there we go. That was my first purchase. But then I did get serious about I need greens, teals, shades of blue. And I popped over to there are every festival show. Oh, I've got a cat doing cat litter, hold on. Okay. Attic Spin Dye. I love this brand. And they are a lovely bunch. Always have a nice little hello on the stalls, and they're at almost every show I go to. I don't know if that's just because I go to more up north. Don't know where they live, to be honest. But anyway, I always know I'm going to find something lovely there. Look at the greens in this. We've got like a nice Julie Emeraldy all the way through to like a really pale greeny yellow. And I love the bits of brown in it. So this is the Superwash Merino. So this is a stock yarn really. Superwash Merino and nylon 75/25 in the shade Summer's End. And another cute thing that this, I think they're a family. I don't know why I've assumed that actually. Another cute thing that they do though is in their like full skeins, they leave a little hole, and then when you're buying the yarn, they put a little stitch marker on for you as a little extra treat. And you know, I love a treat, me. Love a freebie. So I got these from Attic Spin. Usually do get something. Half the socks I've got actually are knitted with their yarn. And while I'm there, I always stock up on mini skeins. So bear with. Just going to arrange these nicely to hold up. Look at this lovely bunch. So these are 10 grams. I always get a few when I see them. Oh, there's my stitch marker. Progress keeper, whatever you want to call it. Cute little bird house. Yeah, I always stock up for me socks to do my toes and get a nice little granny square for my blanket. Gorgeous colours though, and I do have like mini square plans for the end of the year, which I will talk about more at a later date, but I'm sure these will be involved. So these are only like £2 each. Oh, quid is pound, by the way. I know I use a lot of northern slang, and I did have, I think, was it someone from another country commented because I said something cost a tenner and they didn't know what I meant. A tenner is £10. I don't know if that's Northern or just like a Liverpool thing, but yeah. A tenner is £10, 2 quid is £2. These cost £2 each. Cute little 10 gram skeins. Gorgeous. So another new to me. So yes, Wildfield Fibre was a new to me. And Under the Olive Tree, I have heard of these before, but I don't think I've ever seen them anywhere. But loved it all. Lovely stall holder, lovely, gorgeous colours, great displays. What do we think of this one? So this is to go with the green that I got. Isn't it just beautiful? So it's got greens, blues, little specks of really dark purple, which I don't know if will come up on very well. So it's another socky 75.25 again. So far we've got these. What do you think to that? I know they're quite different. I think when they're granny squared up, they'll actually complement each other very well. So that is Under the Olive Tree. I will link all the stalls that I've shopped at below, as usual. Most of them will have an Etsy or a website, I'm sure. Oh, this was hand dyed in Cambridgeshire, but the Attic Spin doesn't say where. But I must find out where they are. Anyway, then the last skein that I bought was, do you know, is this new to me as well? I did really well finding new stalls. This one is Rosie's Moments. It's another green. It's quite similar to the Attic Spin, but more muted tones. So there's the labelling. Let me out there. There we go. Rosie's Moments. And this is a 75.25. Oh, but it's a Falklands merino and recycled nylon. That's nice, isn't it? So this is mainly green, bits of brown, but we do also have the teals and a bit of purple creeping through. So it should blend nicely, really. They should all actually go quite well together. I think no matter what order I'm putting them in, I'm going to be quite pleased. So I'm not sure if I should get a solid as well, just like a cheaper, not hand dyed or anything, like a solid sock yarn, like a dark green, like a forest green, bottley green, just to have a solid in there. Because sometimes completely variegated might be a bit too much. But I'm just going to play around and see what I think. So they're my main purchases, plus the mini skeins. And I just had the best time. Such a lovely day. There was no trouble. Everyone was happy. Lots of oohing and ahhing going on. I did make one more purchase that is not yarn. Who's this from? I got a card. It's Isla. Pottery by Isla. Again, I will link below. Which was on Instagram, which is where I saw her originally, and it was seeing her Instagram that made me absolutely sure that I wanted to go to this show. But even the packaging that she wraps it all up in. So we're going to unwrap it together. I know what's in there, but you don't. So let's see. Oh, it's well wrapped. So the first thing is inside the bigger thing. God, I'm so happy with this purchase. Let me introduce Maud the chicken. This is my new little chicken, handmade by Isla. Go on, Maud, say hello. So Maud is actually a second. I've named her Maud. She didn't come as a Maud, but I knew she was a Maud when I saw her. She only has a few little, I mean, I wouldn't dare call them defaults. I'm going to call them birthmarks. Isn't she just the cutest little ceramic? Yeah. Love her a lot. I had to get her. Um, so she's my little rescue chicken, and she's going to live with me. And she might live up there somewhere and peep out for my podcasts. But we hope to get some chickens for our back garden soon. We've got quite a big garden, tiny house, big garden. So we hope to get some rescue chickens soon. And Maud is my first one. So thank you, Isla, for having her. The main reason to go and see this stall, should you ever come across it, is the mugs. Isn't it gorgeous? She had all different coloured spots. I went for this like mauvey pink, but it's going to be my podcast mug. I mean, why wouldn't it be? So you'll see me knitting out of my, not knitting, you'll see me drinking a coffee or a tea out of my Knit Happens gorgeous handmade mug. And yeah, I'm so happy with this. And I was stood there for ages not knowing which one to pick up because she had Knit Happens, If I Sits, I Knits, and a couple of crochet ones, all different colours. And she also had just the tumbler, so without the handle. And they are beautiful, and you could use them as a little plant pot as well. But I think I need a handle. I feel like I'm a handle kind of gal. So that is it. I did take some little videos and pictures and things that I'll either have showed in the intro or it'll come up in the outro, maybe a bit of both. But I was so delighted with the whole experience. It was a good size little festival. Not too big, not too small. Definitely smaller than the Wales Wonderwool. Definitely smaller than that. But it was only £10 to get in as well. Very reasonably priced. All in all, great time. Might go again next year. So I am going to record a podcast episode tomorrow. I don't know which one will go out first. Which one makes sense to go out first? Probably this. We'll see. But you'll see me again soon. Because I have got progress to show you. I've got some finished objects to show you. No new whips, but finished objects. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.